Good evening นะครับ everyone. So today นะครับ we are going to continue talking about the lookup reference functions that we learned from Wednesday class. Okay. So because this is section 5 นะครับ makeup class, so the content นะครับ is like follow what section 5 did นะครับ so it might be just like a bit different from section 4 in the speed of the class a bit นะครับ so but don't worry, actually inside all the examples are the same นะครับ when I just like review it to you, you just like learn how you're gonna have it. Okay, so by the way, how's your day ครับ Are you okay for Friday? Okay, nice to know that you are good นะครับธัญญาบุญยิสานะครับ the rest of you I think that you have a good Friday as well นะครับชุติมา as well, that's good ครับ Okay, I've been busy the whole day, many meetings. Your class is the second class of today's class, okay, but that's okay ครับ no problem. Now นะครับ let's talk about like what we studied on Wednesday. Okay, so this is like the worksheet that we talk about the what to say lookup reference function นะครับ just one below. Okay, on Wednesday class นะครับ we talk about the lookup reference functions that we have to learn in this class. Okay, let me just like show you for the way in order to understand these functions นะครับ the way in order to use each function, it depends on นะครับ the orientation of the data นะครับ for example นะครับ okay, let me just like talk about the data that we have got first. We say that okay, if we have a key นะครับ a key data นะครับ or in this one we call it as the lookup value นะครับ if your key data you match with the data in the first row นะครับ you match with the data in the first row
ว่ามีเป๊ปซี่ไหม
just one belong ครับ everyone. All right, นะครับ so if you just like match your key data with the first row นะครับ for example, if you say that your first row you have the ID of the student A, B, C, D, E, F, something like that, and your key data is C, let's say, you can see that นะครับ the way that we have to do is that we match your key data with A. If A is not the one that we want, you just go to the next one, that is B. If B is not what we want, it just go to the next one, that is C นะครับ so the way that we have like this, you can see that the value that you may be able to search for is located in the first row like this. It's spanned horizontally. So the way in order to look up, we have to use the function that is called as horizontal lookup, horizontal lookup or edge lookup. So the important thing is that the key that you have to use for matching นะครับ might be found in the first row. In this one, we use the edge lookup. On the other way around, if we have the data and you have the key that you would like to have to match, for example, C is a key, and then you have the ID of the student A, B, C, D, E, F, G, something like that. You can see that you may match C with C in the third row like this. The matching value span in the same column นะครับ or span vertically. We call this kind of matching as vertical lookup นะครับ. Then we have to use a function that is called Vlookup นะครับ to just like look up the data that we have got นะครับ so while the last one นะครับ index and match is different นะครับ when we have the data you can see that in this example if we have the data นะครับ in the table นะครับ 5 rows by 5 column and you say that okay give me the data from row to column 3 นะครับ row through column 3 is here นะครับ this one when you specify the location it is not the key as we did in Lookup or Vlookup when you specify the location like this นะครับ you have to use index and match function instead and on the last class we started talking about the first function that was what we call Lookup นะครับ now let's see let me have the short review for the Lookup how did we just like use the Lookup firstly นะครับ you have to make sure that the data นะครับ that is in the table that you would like to have has the first row นะครับ as the data that you would like to match for example in here you can see that if you have a look on the yellow table here นะครับ yellow table here is the name นะครับ of a person is the name of a person that means นะครับ that means the value or the key that you use to match must be a name of a person นะครับ otherwise if you have something for example ID or if you have something like the other thing like nickname or whatever thing นะครับ that is not the name it will not be able to match with this one นะครับ so what are we going to do in here when you just have the data like that already นะครับ you can see that the first row consists of the value that can be matchable with the key that we have got นะครับ next on you have to know that what is the dimension of this table and how do you going to define it let's have a look on this yellow table this yellow table นะครับ we consist of number of rows that we have got นะครับ you can see that this one we have 5 row altogether the first row นะครับ is the value that will be matched with a key นะครับ and the rest of the rows are the data that we may want to get นะครับ you can see that in this example we would like to find the biology score of someone นะครับ this one we would like to find Judy's biology score and you know that biology is located in this row right is in this row when you define นะครับ the table in here นะครับ the yellow table here in Lookup and Vlookup we call it as table array นะครับ for table array when we would like to refer to the table array we don't use its real row number นะครับ so forget about row number 8 to 12 the row number that you have to specify in the function is from row 1 to row 5 only นะครับ and biology is in row number 5 in this relative table so when you would like to use the Lookup how can we do that นะครับ okay so let's see นะครับ for the Lookup okay let me just like show you the Lookup function นะครับ in the function builder box again the Lookup is a function that looks for a value on the top row นะครับ of a table of array or array of values นะครับ this is a table or array of value is the same thing นะครับ so the top row here นะครับ is the value that you are looking for so now we have Judy you would like to find a name นะครับ or a word Judy in this cell as well นะครับ when you can find it it will just like use the data from a specific row that you specify so what does it mean in this example we said that we want to find biology score that is in row number 5 when it finds Judy in any column already it just go down to row number 5 to show the biology score for you นะครับ okay so for the Lookup function we have altogether 4 arguments the first argument is the lookup value lookup value or the key that I mentioned in this example it's Judy นะครับ Judy in here somebody may type นะครับ double quote and then Judy or you may refer to a cell that you type the name Judy in here for my one นะครับ I don't want to hard code or I don't want to fix the value Judy in my formula then I just use Judy in another cell so that when I change the name of the student it is easy for me to just like type that name in a cell without replace my function I can still use my same old function without any changes นะครับ okay next table array here means you just like drag the area for the yellow table here for example if you see on my screen นะครับ the table array is from C8 colon G12 นะครับ that means we specify the area of this table next row index num means that what row number would you like to get or to show the data if the Lookup can find the matching value นะครับ in this one if we say that we want biology score we have to put 5 and lastly this is important too นะครับ the range lookup is an argument that is what we call the logical value it tells us what mode of searching or what mode of looking up would you like to have in order to have the lookup we have two different modes นะครับ we have two different range lookup now let me just clarify this range lookup value for you ครับ we have the first one ครับ the first one is what we call นะครับ the first one is what we call the what to say exact match the exact match is the way นะครับ that you would like to match 100% นะครับ of your key with the value in this table นะครับ then it must use or it must bring the data of the biology score of the person if you have Judy and Judy in this row number 1 นะครับ if you don't find the word a person named Judy or the value Judy in this first row it will show the error like the one that you are that you have seen right now you can see that it is the not available error นะครับ #n/a is not available error in here it means that you do something with a function but this function cannot respond to you with the value that you want to have นะครับ like this one so this one means that in this example you don't have Judy นะครับ okay and this is the first mode นะครับ exact match if you would like to have exact match you have to use นะครับ the arguments นะครับrange lookup to be false นะครับ you have to type the word false นะครับ for range lookup the other one นะครับ we have closest match some of the version of Excel or some of the handbook may call the closest match as nearby match นะครับ the same thing if you see in any handbook said it's nearby match นะครับ it's the same thing nearby match or closest match you have to specify the argument of the range lookup as true นะครับ what does it mean by the closest match or nearby match you just find some value that is quite close นะครับ to the value in your key it will just like return something for you already for example if you have the value นะครับ Edward in the in row number 1 but the key that you match is Ed you can see that Ed and Edward they might be the different people นะครับ so if you use exact match Edward is not equal to Ed then it shows the not available error for you but if you use closest match or nearby match นะครับ they might allow you that okay Edward might be quite close to Ed and it might return the score of Edward for you instead นะครับ so depends on the application นะครับ if it is a score of a person นะครับ to report the score of a person we have to use exact match only because I'm sure that no one would like to get the score of other people นะครับ but some kind of data นะครับ closest match is useful as well. I'll talk about it next on. You can see that in this example. Okay, come back to our example here. We had the data for the students. For the student, we would like to have the score of a student. So for sure, you cannot use closest match, because if you enter something like you type Edward, you type Edward, you can see that for sure it shows not applicable or not available. It's the error. So now let's see, let me formulate this one first. In this one, I will look up value that is the reference cell. In here it's D15. Okay, table array is this yellow cells. Okay, row that I want to have, because it's biology, the row number is row number 5. And lastly, I want to have exact match. Then I put range lookup to be false. In this one, you can see that I don't have the Edward score. That's why it showed the error to us. Okay, now let's try something. What if I say that I change from false to be true? It means that I want to try closest match. Now another name for closest match is approximate match. Now it seems like Excel 2019 version changed the name again. I have been using 3 terms from Excel. The oldest one that I use, it's called as nearby match. And on 2016 version, it used closest match. And the latest version, it used approximate match. They mean the same thing. Okay, if I use true, let's see what happened. It shows 61%. You see that? Ed and Edward is different person, but it shows 61%. This is not what we want. In this way, in this work, we have to use exact match only. In order to show the error, if it is a person that the name is not the same as like our key. We want 100% the same. Okay, right. So when we have this thing already, on the last class, I asked you to find the physics score for Frank, and then you did it for me. That means, okay, in this one, you can see that for physics score, we did similar way around. We just use the lookup value is this cell. Okay, and after that, you specify the same table as a table array. And you know that physics score is in row number 1, 2, 3, 4. It's in row number 4, right? And range lookup is false as well. So this one, I get 69% for Frank. Yeah, this is correct one. Okay, sometimes you may have the question that, what if my table has like some data what should I do? You may say that, okay, if you remember, I told you that for the HLOOKUP function, for the HLOOKUP function, it looks for a value in the top row of a table. But in here, you may say that, hey, but the top row of a table has ID of the student. What should I do? Then you don't choose that one as a top row. When you have to specify, the table array, you just specify this area instead. You just specify the yellow area instead. So the name of a person will become your first row anyway. So this one, when you really have to work with the HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP, sometimes it is tricky. When they have like lots of data, but your data that you would like to use as a key is not in the first row, then you make it become the first row for you. For example, if you have so many data like this, okay, and your data that you have got is in here, then just make this row as the as the first row instead. You don't need to cover for the whole worksheet. You just highlight what cells you would like to use as the table array just that. Okay. After that นะครับ what we learned from the last class was that, okay, I asked you นะครับ that there might be some applications นะครับ whenever they would like to find out the score of a student นะครับ but they do not want to enter or fix นะครับ the score นะครับ to be in the line number like this. You can see that from the previous two example. If you want biology score นะครับ if you want biology score, the row index num must be row number 5. That means you fix the value to be row number 5. And physics score, you fix the row index num to be row number 4 as well. But I mean in the reality, somebody said that I want more flexibility. I want to enter the name of the course so that I can change. If I want to know the score of another subject, what should I do? In this one, when we know the limitation that the things that we did before was that the third argument, you enter the number, right? So why don't you have another cell to justify the number? For example, if you type biology, it shows number 5. If you type physics, it shows number 4. Then in this one, I use the knowledge from if function to help นะครับ I use if function นะครับ the nested if in order to check with the value. If this cell นะครับ is biology, sorry, start from math first. If this cell is math, I show 2. If this cell has a value French, I show number 3 and so on นะครับ so for the HLOOKUP function, in order to get นะครับ the flexible subject, instead of typing the row number here, you refer to the cell that we use if function to help. So that means in this one, if you just type if function in here to help นะครับ it makes your function, the HLOOKUP function, to be more flexible. For example, if you type French instead, you can see that the score will be updated นะครับ the value in yellow cell is updated to be 3. That is row number 3 that we have to just like get the data from ครับ apart from that one, I told you that it might be possible that instead of just like referring to a cell นะครับ that you have if function, somebody enter if function inside the HLOOKUP function as an argument. So if you know that in this one, the third argument นะครับ the row index num, we refer to cell E27, that is the output of if function. Then why don't we replace the word E27 to be if function instead? And then I show you that in this example, they enter if function นะครับ to replace นะครับ to replace the third argument straight away like this. And then it works similar way around นะครับ you don't need to just like refer to any cells for the if anymore because you put if inside the cell นะครับ okay, so this one is like good for you in the future if you have to what to say, type the functions and you don't want to just like make other people confused, because you can see that in the reality, if you type number 3 or you have the function that shows number 3 in here นะครับ this one, it doesn't look nice for our table to show grade report. Somebody may say, oh, I will hide this column, okay, something like that. It's okay นะครับ but somebody said no, I just make my function to be more advanced by entering the if function inside my HLOOKUP directly. So it's up to you นะครับ both of them are okay. In the exam, don't worry นะครับ you may just like use if function in another cell. That is okay too. You don't need to combine the if function inside HLOOKUP if you want to do the thing like this นะครับ okay, so for the first example, it was about the HLOOKUP with the exact match นะครับ now we talk about the HLOOKUP, but right now it's HLOOKUP in terms of the closest match. You can see that for the HLOOKUP with the closest match นะครับ I typed the example for you นะครับ that was the BMI นะครับ the BMI or body mass index. Okay, for anyone who don't have this table นะครับ let me copy this table to you again นะครับ in the chat box Okay, for the BMI or body mass index, it is the way in order to measure your body type by using your biometric data like weight and height นะครับ like weight and height. So I'm sure that some of you in this room นะครับ in this class may like calculated your BMI score before นะครับ This is the BMI calculation นะครับ This is the formula. BMI or body mass index นะครับ body mass index okay. body mass index body mass index here is calculated from your weight in kilograms divided by your height square but the height นะครับ value that you have to use in order to calculate the BMI must be the height in meter นะครับ must be the height in meter นะครับ So that means if you know the height in centimeter, you have to change it to be the meter first by divided by 100. From centimeter will be changed to be meter. Will be changed to be meter. Okay. Assume that we have the information like this. Assume that one student นะครับ has the height has the weight 49 kilograms the height นะครับ let's see her height is 164 centimeters or 1.64 meters นะครับ okay. So how to calculate BMI นะครับIn order to calculate BMI, we have to divide the weight นะครับ by height times height. Okay, this is the easy thing that we do นะครับ Okay, weight divided by height times height. Okay, all right. So this one นะครับ this person gets BMI score 18.2. 18.22 let's say 18.22 how do we gonna make use of this table ครับ this table นะครับ in the reality we when you go to like what to say download some apps from your mobile phone or when you go to the what to say the scale นะครับ the scale in the fitness center let's say in the gym they may have like this table นะครับ as a sticker on the scale over there to tell you that okay what type of the body that you have got นะครับ when you have the BMI like this some of the applications นะครับ or some of the weight scale they have they just like calculate and show you the body type directly on that machine นะครับ automatically. Now let's see นะครับ everyone you get 18.21 already right let's read this table นะครับ manually first before we use Lookup. Class can someone tell me นะครับ can you please type in the chat box for this lady what body type she has got ครับ what body type of this person she is Can you type in the chat box or can you turn on the microphone to say? Okay, so many of you answer that she's underweight. Okay, now let's see how to read this table. We say that okay, for the person who have from 0 to 18.4 BMI will be underweight. From 18.5 to 24.9 is normal weight นะครับ and so on right so that's correct ครับ this person is underweight now how can we use Lookup in order to show the underweight นะครับ body type for us นะครับ okay so in order to show the body type นะครับ okay I type body type here first you can see that because in order to use the Vlookup we learned before that okay for the Vlookup we will use the key นะครับ this is the key to compare with the value in the first row assume that okay right now min is our first row here and after that when you get the score already นะครับ you just like show the value that you want to have so that means นะครับ for example in this one if I say that my table นะครับ my table array is in the yellow cells here so I have 3 rows right row 1 row 2 row 3 then I want my Vlookup to report the value in the row 3 for us in this example we want it to show underweight for us ครับ now let's see we'll use the Vlookup ครับ so everyone let's do together นะครับ we go to Vlookup and then lookup value is this BMI value นะครับ table array is in the yellow table in yellow cell here ครับ row index name we want body type it's row 3 นะครับ right now if you use the range lookup value to be false let's see what happened นะครับ see the intermediate result ครับ it shows nothing it shows blank นะครับ this one means that Vlookup will show error to you it cannot find why is that ครับ let me explain to you นะครับ why range lookup false shows the error to you now นะครับ the key that we would like to search for is 18.22 right okay then it compare 18.22 with the first row ครับ 18.22 is not equal to 0 then Vlookup will jump to the next column 18.22 is not equals to 18.5 then it jumps to the next column then it compares 18.22 with 30 18.22 is not equal to 30 นะครับ so it jumps but right now there's nothing more our table stop here that's why นะครับ Vlookup cannot find anything it shows error to you นะครับ this is Vlookup with the exact match now we will change it to be the closest match and see what's going on okay ครับ everyone just modify your formula a bit นะครับ change from false to be true and see what happened you can see that when I change from false to be true นะครับ right now the result is showing as underweight immediately นะครับ why is that นะครับ let me explain to you why does body type why does Vlookup shows us for underweight นะครับ firstly we have similar way as we did with the exact match ครับ we compare 18.22 with the first cell on the first row it is 0 we found that 18.22 is greater than 0 right when it's greater than 0 it will jump to the next column 18.22 will be compared against 18.5 18.22 is less than 18.5 right then it stop นะครับ and go back for one column stop and go back for one column and show the answer in that row that you want we show in row 3 that's why it show underweight นะครับ now you might think that I don't understand about this let's try something ครับ if นะครับ if this person weight okay if this person weight is 90 นะครับ and the height is 1.64 meters you can see that right now นะครับ the BMI is 33.46 and it shows body type obese how can Lookup show obese for us นะครับ let me just show you the step the first one นะครับ it compare 33.46 against 0 33.46 is greater than 0 then Lookup jumps to the next column now it compares 33.46 with 18.5 it's still greater than 18.5 anyway then Lookup jump to the next column now it compares 33.46 with 25 it's still greater than 25 anyway then Lookup jump to compare with the next cell that is 30 you can see that right now 33.46 is greater than 30 right is greater than 30 so the things that it has to do is that try to jump to the next column but right now it's the end of our table already it cannot jump anymore then it bounce back and then report this value for you that this person is obese that's why it shows obese to you นะครับ when you have to use Lookup with the closest match it's useful when you use it to compare numbers when you use it to compare numbers so you can see that this is the range of number it compares whether it's greater than or not something like that right why is that ครับ because numbers normally when you have the real numbers for example the value of min and max like this the temperature นะครับ you can see that you cannot identify every single member of that values for example you cannot identify that if we have the BMI from 0 0.1 0.2 0.3 0.9 1.0 1.1 otherwise if you have to identify like this it takes a lot of time so that's why we use Lookup with the closest match to help instead and then you can see that the things I want to show you นะครับ the second line นะครับ max here it's for human being นะครับ it's not for Excel it's not for computer even you delete this second row nothing gonna happen with the result because if you remember นะครับ the instruction of the Lookup just consider นะครับ Lookup just consider the first row only นะครับ the top row of the table only it doesn't care about second row นะครับ but this one why do we need to have it if I don't write max you think that oh min is 0 นะครับ for underweight then the maximum boundary of the underweight must be less than 18.5 and then you have to think oh 18.5 then less than that I need to have 18.4 something like that so I just write this one down for you นะครับ so that it is easy for us to see but in terms of the Lookup just the first row is enough from 0 นะครับ is underweight so it means that if you use the number line to help นะครับ in here it said that 0 นะครับ 18.5 25 30 so this one you can just like use this นะครับ this is underweight this is normal weight นะครับ this is overweight and the last one obese, something like this นะครับ you can just explain by using the number line as well. Okay, right. This is the H lookup function with the closest match นะครับ Okay, so up to this point, do anyone has any question ครับ for the H lookup with the closest match? Okay, if you don't have any questions นะครับ let's move on to the next function ครับ that is VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP actually it's similar to the HLOOKUP นะครับ the difference from VLOOKUP and from the difference of VLOOKUP from HLOOKUP is that the organizing นะครับ or the orientation of the data นะครับ is different, just that นะครับ okay, so let's see ครับ I'll show you the VLOOKUP นะครับ example of the data first. Now we are going to do the VLOOKUP with the exact match นะครับ okay. Okay, assume that we have the data like this นะครับ okay. Let me explain นะครับ this data first. You can see that in this one, if we can use this data for looking up นะครับ we will use it in order to look up the cost of the product นะครับ or the price of the product. You can see that if you would like to find out the cost or the price of the product, in this one, the first column นะครับ on the first column, the name นะครับ or the description of the product is here. It's organized in the same way in the same column, or it's organized vertically นะครับ then if you would like to search for it or looking it up for a data, you have to use vertical lookup นะครับ or VLOOKUP to do that. The way in order for VLOOKUP to do is similar to HLOOKUP ครับ assume that we have นะครับ assume that we have a cell that I type the name of the product. Okay, here ครับ this table นะครับ consists of two columns นะครับ column 1 and column 2 like this. Now let's see ครับ how does VLOOKUP work. So let's go to see the VLOOKUP นะครับ in the function builder box. You type VLOOKUP. VLOOKUP here นะครับ looks for a value in the leftmost column นะครับ in the leftmost column in this example is column 1 นะครับ in here of a table, and then return a value in the same row นะครับ from a column you specify. For example, if it can find toothpaste in here, it will return นะครับ a value in the same row. In this one, it will show 4.1 for you นะครับ from a column you specify. In this case, if we specify column 2, it shows 4.1. By default, the table must be sorted in ascending order. This one I'll explain to you next on. So the step that VLOOKUP will do is that it will compare นะครับ the value that you would like to search as a key นะครับ with the first column. When it can find the matching value นะครับ for example, toothpaste equals to toothpaste นะครับ VLOOKUP will stop and then report the value in the column that you specify. For example, in here, if you would like to get the data from column 2, it show 4.1 for you นะครับ this is the basic idea how VLOOKUP works. It's similar to HLOOKUP, right? But one thing that you have to be careful นะครับ for VLOOKUP, it said in the description of VLOOKUP function that by default, the table must be sorted in an ascending order. You have to understand the sorting นะครับ and the way that they call ascending order first. Sorting here means that, okay, this table must be sorted alphabetically นะครับ in this one when we sort นะครับ you have to sort by item description นะครับ everything must be sorted. For example, in here นะครับ if we would like to know, okay, let me just explain to you for the sorting. For sorting, we have two different kind of sorting that you have to know นะครับ The first one, we call it as ascending sort. Second one, the other sort is what we call descending sort. For ascending sort, it is the sorting that you sort. If it is sorted alphabetically, it is A to Z นะครับ It is A to Z. If it is a number, it's sorted from 0 to 9. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 นะครับ Okay. So this is what we call ascending sort นะครับ If it is about the date that you sort, you have to sort from older to newer. Okay. While descending sort is different, it's opposite way around. It's sorted from Z to A, from 9, 8, 7, 6, so on, backward to 0. Or in case of the date, it's sort from newer to older. What does it mean by newer to older? So 11th of Feb, 10th of Feb, 9th of Feb, back to 1 of Feb, that is descending sort. But if you sort right from the 1st of May, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, that is older to newer, that is ascending นะครับ Okay, right. So Vlookup needs ascending sort นะครับ Okay, what should we do นะครับ Firstly, when you see the table like this นะครับ if there's no limitation for not to sort นะครับ I mean like some table, the person who generate this table may say that, okay, do not sort my table นะครับ because I just like did something, sort something by other columns already นะครับ For example, suppose they say that, okay, they have another column นะครับ that is column number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, something like that, and they sort by number already. But for the Vlookup, you would like to use this column, then you cannot sort นะครับ because they sorted already. They may say that do not sort my table, something like that, or you do not resort my table. Then you may just like, the things that you may have to do is that copy this table to be in another place, and then you can sort it นะครับ in here. Okay, now let's see นะครับ Firstly, if you don't have any limitation for this allow to for sorting, the things that you should do is that you just sort it นะครับ You don't have to scan through by using your eyes because it wastes the time. You just start sorting it. How to sort ครับ Firstly นะครับ you have to just like highlight the whole table. When you highlight the whole table, it means that you don't highlight the headers นะครับ You just highlight the data only. In this one, I highlight from conflicts to 0.8 นะครับ This is what I gonna sort. After that, you go to data tab and then go to sort นะครับ Here you click sort นะครับ You will see a pop-up box showing you that, okay, how you're gonna sort it. So you can see that there is a buttons, many buttons over there นะครับ Just leave it like that first. We will talk about the sorting in detail next on นะครับ In this one, you can see that there is a checkbox called my data has headers. Take it out ครับ Uncheck my data has headers. After that, sort by. In this one, you have to sort by first column นะครับ You sort by column B. Okay. If you don't uncheck นะครับ my data has header, let's see, it shows item description and sort and cause something like that. But we don't include these headings. It may cause the sorting to be error นะครับ That's why you have to uncheck first. and choose column B. Sort order A to Z that is ascending นะครับ A to Z that is ascending sort on values yes นะครับ that means on the content in here otherwise you can sort by like color you can sort by font color you can sort by conditional formatting icon นะครับ not at this moment you just sort by cell value first and then click OK you can see that nothing happens because we sorted already now let's try ครับif we sort it again but we sort it as descending นะครับ set to A and click OK you can see that the data is changed already นะครับ okay come back again ครับ change it back to ascending sort when you just like sort them already นะครับ this is the data that you have got when you have the data like this นะครับ then you can start using the the Vlookup นะครับHow do we gonna do the Vlookup นะครับ Before I move on to talking about the Vlookup example, do you have any question about sorting? Have anyone? Okay, so if you don't have any question นะครับ we have item and cost นะครับ like this, and then I type in tuna. In this example, if we would like to find out the cost of tin tuna, what are we going to do นะครับ It's very easy you just simply go to fx นะครับ then choose Vlookup function now we start providing the argument for this Vlookup ครับ lookup value I just click on tin tuna here นะครับ that I just recently typed table array นะครับ is like this product information table my one is B49 to C55 column index num is the column that I want the data if Vlookup can find or can match the value I want column 2 ครับ that is cost and range lookup here นะครับ because I want to just choose the product that is like exactly match with my item name then I have to use exact match นะครับ or false you can see that right now the cost is showing 1.5 or $1.50 นะครับ for tin tuna yeah this is what we want so let me just like copy this formula to you ครับ okay right so let me just like try something else if I type toothpaste and then test it yeah it shows $4.10 นะครับ in here okay I may just like format the cell a bit okay right and if I just type tooth space paste it shows error นะครับ because toothpaste and toothpaste means different นะครับ space does matter in terms of searching or looking up นะครับ something like that so that means if you just like use the name of a person to search for นะครับ then you have to be careful about the space นะครับ of their name as well นะครับ okay right okay นะครับ this is the Vlookup with the exact match so are there any questions about this Vlookup with the exact match ครับ for this example okay if you don't have any questions นะครับ let's talk about another example this is the Vlookup with the closest match ครับ for the Vlookup with the closest match นะครับ this one it works similarly นะครับ as we did with the closest match but I'm sorry with the exact match but for the closest match here the things that is different is that for the argument it must be true instead of false นะครับ in here so นะครับ let me just give you an example ครับ MUSE นะครับ MUSE has the grading criteria as shown below. Here. Okay. So the things that I would like you to do นะครับ when you see this table ครับ for this example I would like you to do by yourself นะครับ I would like you to create a table and use Vlookup to find the score of a student นะครับ and then just use the information below นะครับ to test the score the grade of the student for me ครับ in this one นะครับ okay okay right okay นะครับ everyone I would like you to do it by yourself นะครับ right now I want you to just like use the Vlookup in order to search the grade for the student นะครับ so I have another column please find the grade of these three students for me using Vlookup นะครับ in this example I'll give you 10 minutes in order to do that นะครับ okay so for the hint นะครับ this Vlookup you have to use closest match นะครับ and apart from that one นะครับ the column that they have for us นะครับ might not be usable with the Vlookup you may have to create your own columns นะครับ you may just create as a new table or you may just like add or insert some columns over here นะครับ okay yeah okay ครับ now I give you 10 minutes นะครับ when you get the answer already นะครับ just type your formula นะครับ just type your formula in the chat box for me so that I know that you finished already นะครับ now it's 4 minutes past 7 นะครับ so I'll just like finish this example at 7:14 นะครับ 7:14 okay ครับ everyone just like take your time นะครับ problem ครับ okay no worries ครับ okay at least you try already if it doesn't work no problem นะครับ let me show you first the first thing นะครับ is that if I just like don't know anything much about Vlookup then I think that I will make this table to be my table array นะครับ the score in first column is what I want นะครับ to compare with the score in each cell in here and then I want the second column to show the grade นะครับ for me so in this one okay you can see that okay the trick in hereอาจารย์ปรมิน told me that okay we have to use the closest match okay let's do it นะครับ let's do it I'll use the closest match as I told you in this one suppose I say that okay I use the for anyone who just like who can do who can solve this one can just like still send the message in the chat box นะครับ okay let's see we go to Vlookup นะครับ lookup value is the score here นะครับ table array is this table I want column number 2 range lookup is true because it is closest match you can see that in here it shows error นะครับ Why is that? What's going on? What I'm doing wrong นะครับ Let me explain to you ครับ The point that makes you wrong is here. It is column 1. Why is that? Because the score นะครับ in the lookup value 59.5 นะครับ will be compared นะครับ with 0 to 59. What I want you to know 0 to 59 here, if you have a look นะครับ you may remember that okay I talk about two things, the things in the past when we just like start talking about our course นะครับ you can see that 0 นะครับ that I type is right aligned, while 0-59 here is the left aligned, right, without setting anything นะครับ What does this mean? Anything that you type and it's right aligned, it means a number. Anything that is left aligned by its default, it is text. You cannot compare number with text. That's why 59.5 cannot be comparable to 0-59 นะครับ because 0-59 is text. As I told you earlier that column, the first column here นะครับ directly we cannot use it นะครับ straight away. What should we do in here ครับ So in order to make it easier, I create 2 more columns นะครับ I name it as lower score and upper score. Zero, 60, 60, 60. Okay, so this one is the lowest score นะครับ then for the upper score is like this. Okay. And the column that I really use will be this column ครับ just this. I cannot use the first column because first column is just the text. It's not comparable with the score in here นะครับ It's the green cells in here that I'll use. Now, actually the real column that I use is column C and column E. Upper score is just like for human being to know that okay, this is like the upper score นะครับ but actually Vlookup doesn't need to use นะครับ in here. So the things that I do is that นะครับ I do it again. I said that okay for Vlookup นะครับ I look up the score of this person นะครับ sorry, the score of this person. Table array is this table, the green cells. Column index name, I want to have the grade. Then I show column 3. Range lookup is true. Range lookup is true because it's closest match. As score 55.9, you don't see any 55.9. Or in case of and get 83, you don't see 83 in the lower score. That's why you have to use true นะครับ or closest match to help. So in this one, I have to lock the cell as well because otherwise if I copy this formula down, you can see that in here, it just like the table array just move down นะครับ every time that I copy the formula. Then I have to lock the cell for the table array first. Okay. This is my formula ครับ You can see that we get the answer already. But our answer, is it correct or not? You have to check. if you were TED นะครับ if you were TED which grade do you want to get ครับ class can you tell me if you were TED which grade would you like to get tell me the possible grade นะครับ don't say that oh I'm TED then I want A it's impossible นะครับ so some of you answer already and you said D dog right okay now okay better situation if you were if you were Joy which grade would you expect to get ครับ if you were Joy which grade would you like to get sure everyone wants A นะครับ and you can see that the score is 89.5 but Joy got B plus 59.5 Ted got F this is not the problem of this is not the problem of Vlookup นะครับ because Vlookup just compare the value for what it gets you can see that okay let's see how TED is evaluated นะครับ how TED score is evaluated when TED get 59.5 okay we compare 59.5 with 0 นะครับ 59.5 is greater than 0 it goes to the next line that is 60 59.5 is less than 60 right then it jumps back and report F instead that's why TED got an F ครับ now let's see in case of Joy for Joy we just compare 89.5 down and down down and down นะครับ and down okay we compare and นะครับ 89 sorry Joy 89.5 นะครับ with 90 89.5 is less than 90 right that's why Vlookup has to stop here and shows B plus instead that's why in this one you can see that Joy got B plus for Anne no problem ครับ because her score is in the middle of the range นะครับ it doesn't have any error she got B that is correct already but now Ted and Joy have problem and then you cannot change anything in Vlookup ครับ Vlookup just do like this can somebody suggest it to me if you would like to give the dog to Ted A to Joy what should we do can somebody type in the chat box ครับ suggest to me please if you want Ted to get the dog Joy to get A what should we do if it is in the reality for sure some students will say อาจารย์ can you give me some extra point can you just like add some more score for me but I mean this one systematically we have to do something now you can see that Natapat just suggest one idea to us round score first that is very good idea ครับ and it's fair for everyone because if you round the score anyone who get the score from 0.5 and above will be round up automatically นะครับ it's easy in order to round the score นะครับ okay I insert another column it's easy นะครับ we just put equals to round นะครับ follow by นะครับ the cell that you want to round and follow by number of decimal points that you want to have in this one if you want to have the integer number the decimal point is 0 นะครับ so in this one I say that okay I have equals to round นะครับ the score นะครับ this one C76 in my case comma number of digit is 0 นะครับ then she gets 60 he gets 60 immediately นะครับ this is rounding function นะครับ we just do like this and then I copy this score นะครับ this formula to other people after that นะครับ I just like do the similar way around but right now I just copy นะครับ I just copy the grade calculation นะครับ into another column you can see that right now นะครับ the score is the grade is correct already นะครับ we get what we want this one นะครับ let me just like tell you some experience of mine in Sky system นะครับ not Sky Plus Sky Plus I haven't tried this one yet in Sky system when I have to fill up or when I have to enter the grade of the student นะครับ the things that I have to do is that I have to enter the raw score นะครับ the total raw score and if you get 59.5 นะครับ sorry Sky system will treat you as F because 59.5 is less than 60 the things that I have to do before I upload the score is that I have to round the score first otherwise it's just right remove the decimal point without rounding นะครับ so that's why this one I really have to be careful when I have to just like enter the score of the student I have to make sure that I round everything already นะครับ to be just like without any decimal points so that Sky system will just like calculate correctly นะครับ okay so for this example นะครับ do you have any questions ครับ for the grade after rounded I didn't change any formula นะครับ I just copy from the column D to column F นะครับ it's the same the things that is changed is just rounding นะครับ okay somebody said that อาจารย์ can we just like make this formula to be a bit more advanced somebody may just like okay let me just use sorry let me just change I use the original one yeah okay for the original column here นะครับ you can see that I may put round function as the first argument in here directly okay I just round this number directly inside the formula I have in here so you can see that if I just like copy this formula to other cells I get the correct value already นะครับ so this one it depends on you นะครับ somebody said that can I just like put the rounded score in another column yeah you can somebody said can I add round function inside the vlookup directly yes you can as well นะครับ there is no problem okay right okay นะครับ that's all for the vlookup function for exact match and closest match นะครับ so up to this point do you have any question ครับ anyone okay so if you don't have any question นะครับ let's move on to the next function that is called index นะครับ that is called as index okay. as I mentioned earlier นะครับ for HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP we use a key to match with the value in the first row or the first column นะครับ but in terms of index it's different index function is the function that handpick นะครับ the value in the table that we have got for example if we want to get the data from row 3 column 2 นะครับ you get the data here you don't need to have any key to search for นะครับ you just specify the location so that means index you have to provide location to get the data from the table นะครับ that is different from HLOOKUP and VLOOKUP okay so right now นะครับ we will talk about the index function นะครับ for the data that we have got and then I'll explain the syntax of the function and the argument นะครับ okay let's start with the first example first นะครับ Okay. Suppose we have the data like this ครับ 4 5 6 7 8 in a table นะครับ we say that okay this is a table of data. This table consists of 5 rows 1 column นะครับ so now let's see how do we gonna use index function to find the value นะครับ okay assume that we would like to pick the value from the 5th row นะครับ in the first column of the table in here so easy speaking นะครับ we would like to have value 8 here ครับ you would like to get this value how do we get how do we use index function in order to get this value นะครับ okay I use this cell to be the cell that store the output นะครับ in here so let's see นะครับ everyone just click on the insert function button and then just type index ครับ let's see นะครับ index followed by dotนะครับ let me explain to you first you have to understand this concept นะครับ or the notation in Excel and in many programming or just like the tools that we have got นะครับ anytime you see dot it means that there are something more นะครับ there are something more same as like when you go to Google Chrome you see dot means that if you click on 3 dots you see something นะครับ on your smartphone as well when you go to Gmail and then you see 3 dots then it has something more than that นะครับ okay so that means in this example นะครับ you have more than 1 options of arguments okay so that's why it cannot be written in this syntax for you นะครับ I'll talk about it next on how what to say how the options are what are options that we have got ครับ in this one let's see the definition of this function first นะครับ index function is a function that returns a value or reference of the cell at the intersection นะครับ at the intersection of a particular row and column นะครับ for example we have a table you identify the row number and column number and then you get the value from that intersection นะครับ to be shown in the output cell or in a given range นะครับ now we have another word range I haven't explained to you yet นะครับ now let's see okay now everyone just click on OK button this is list of argument ครับ it is the displaying from 3 dots here นะครับ it shows you 2 possible options the first option is that it's index followed by array row num column num array is the location of the table for example นะครับ in this example this is array your array or your table the same thing so your table or your array start from B84 to B88 นะครับ this is from my screen นะครับ next reference row num column num area num this is นะครับ the argument list when you have more than 1 table นะครับ in your consideration I will just like talk about it next on now let's talk about 1 table first or 1 array first then you have to specify array location นะครับ you have to specify row number and column number that you would like to get the data so how to choose you just click นะครับ on this one นะครับ the first argument list and then you click OK then it pops up the corresponding function arguments box for you in this one we have array row num and column num so I just like drag this table to create an array first นะครับ B84 to B88 นะครับ the row number that I want to get the data is from 5th row นะครับ I put row number 5 column number I want it from column number 1 just have a look นะครับ on the intermediate result it show formula results equal to 8 นะครับ that means you get number 8 if you commit this function นะครับ okay I click OK here so you can see that, okay, this is the function index that we have got. Index นะครับ followed by the range of your array, followed by row number, column number นะครับ row number and column number. Right. Okay then นะครับ any question about this first example ครับ anyone? So if you don't have any question นะครับ I would like you to do the second example by yourself นะครับ So the first column is the same นะครับ same as the previous example. The things we have more is column number 2, the second column นะครับ 6, 3, 8, 9, 5 and 3. So what would I like you to do? I want you to pick the value from the third row นะครับ and the second column of this table ครับ So everyone just do it by yourself นะครับ I give you 2 minutes to do. When you get the answer already, please type your formula in the chat box นะครับ I want you to pick this value ครับ number 9 here. How do we gonna get it นะครับ All right, okay นะครับ so everyone you can see that the things that all of you type นะครับ the same is that for the the second and the third arguments are the same, comma 3, comma 2 นะครับ that is correct one. We want to get the data from row 3 นะครับ column 2. So in this one we just go to index function นะครับ then we choose the first list of arguments นะครับ we choose array first, that is table of 2 columns 5 rows, row number 3 column number 2 นะครับ. Then you get 9 นะครับ as the answer for this one. Right. Okay นะครับ you did a good job for this one. All right. Okay then ครับ this is for the index function นะครับ of the first list of argument. When you have just one table, we use index function in order to search the data like this นะครับ Okay. All right นะครับ so that should be all for the content that we have to learn today นะครับ Okay then up to this point do you have any questions ครับ anyone? So if you don't have any question นะครับ I think right now you can do the the exercise number 3 already that we hadn't do it นะครับ because it needs the knowledge about the Lookup. Right now you know it already, you can do it นะครับ On the next week I will open up more assignment for you นะครับ and exercises for you as well so that you can practice before the midterm examination นะครับ so also นะครับ the answer นะครับ the solution for example for assignment 1, 2, 4 and 5 นะครับ will be open for you นะครับ so that you see what you did นะครับ compare with the solution that I have got. Okay